Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, get ready because the NFL landscape is buzzing right now, and the Giants are right in the middle of it. Rumors are swirling that the Baltimore Ravens, currently sitting at 6-4 and facing some serious cap constraints, only about $14 million in cap space and a hefty Lamar Jackson extension hanging in the balance, are making some bold moves. One of those moves: they're reportedly shopping Roquan Smith, the linebacker who's been a tackling machine and a game-changer for Baltimore. Now, this isn't just speculation. According to Adam Schefter, the Ravens are actively trying to trade Smith for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. This kind of move could shake up the entire NFC landscape. And of course, the Giants are paying close attention. Roquan Smith, if you haven't been paying close attention, is one of the best linebackers in the league right now. Since arriving in Baltimore, he's been an absolute force on the field, a sideline-to-sideline maestro who just seems to always be around the ball. At 28 years old, Smith is in the prime of his career, and his stats speak volumes. Last year alone, he racked up 112 tackles, snagged 7 interceptions, and forced 6 fumbles. His coverage grades are elite, with a 93. 4 PFF coverage grade last season, ranking him as the top linebacker in that department. Not only that, but he's extremely efficient against the run, boasting a 91-2 run defense grade, and he allows very little in terms of yards per target, just 0.12 EPA per target with a 38% completion rate when targeted. That's shutdown level. Smith's versatility makes him a true playmaker, a linebacker who can do it all. Of course, the Ravens have some reasons behind this potential trade. Their cap space is tight, and they're trying to free up funds to re-sign key players like Odell Beckham Jr., as well as to address other roster needs. They've also got to consider their draft capital. Trading Smith for a second-round pick in 2026 allows them to bolster their draft assets and fill other gaps, especially on the offensive line and in the secondary. Plus, with players like Trenton Simpson, who's been developing well, a PFF grade of 74-2, Baltimore might be prioritizing depth at linebacker and focusing on building a more balanced roster. The move also makes sense from a strategic standpoint. They're trying to retain cap flexibility to keep key players and ensure Lamar Jackson's extension doesn't derail their season. Now, shifting focus to the Giants, this is a move that could have enormous implications for New York. Right now, the Giants are sitting at 2-8, and their linebacker core has been exposed, especially against the run. The defense is allowing about 4.6 yards per carry, which is pretty eye-opening considering the standards of NFL defenses. They rank 22nd overall in defensive efficiency, and while Bobby Okereke has been serviceable with a PFF grade of 72.8, they clearly need an anchor to stabilize that unit. Enter Roquan Smith. Imagine him lining up next to Okereke, transforming that linebacking group into a true force. He'd immediately elevate the Giants' defense, especially in a division where teams like the Eagles and Cowboys are loaded with talent. What kind of impact could Smith bring? Well, for starters, he would help the Giants significantly improve their scheme under defensive coordinator Don Martindale. With Smith's sideline-to-sideline range and playmaking ability, the Giants could project a reduction of roughly 280 yards allowed per game on offense. Imagine that. That's huge. Plus, his presence would give the Giants a real boost on third downs, increasing their stops by around 18%, which would be a game-changer in close contests. The offense might not see immediate gains, but defensively, Smith would be a true difference-maker, providing leadership and a sense of stability that the Giants have desperately needed. Taking a look at the broader picture, if the Giants manage to land Smith, it could be a turning point for their season and future. Right now, their odds of making a deep playoff run are quite low, with Super Bowl odds around plus 12-0. But with a player like Roquan Smith, those odds could shift dramatically, up to plus 4,800 or better. He's the kind of player who can lock down tight ends and running backs, especially in a division with talented offensive players. His ability to read plays quickly and make tackles all over the field would fit perfectly into Brian Daboll's scheme. Plus, Smith's leadership qualities and football IQ, often compared to Ray Lewis, would be invaluable for a team that's still trying to find its identity after a tough few seasons. Looking ahead, if the Giants secure Roquan Smith, it's not just about improving this year. It's about setting a foundation for a resilient, championship-caliber defense. The Giants have been building steadily, but they need that extra piece, a true leader in the middle who can make game-changing plays and rally the defense when it counts. Smith fits that mold perfectly. With Dexter Lawrence anchoring the defensive line, and now having Smith to patrol the second level, the Giants could become a nightmare for opposing offenses in the second half of the season and beyond. This move could be what finally pushes them over the edge into playoff contention, and possibly even into the postseason after a long drought. But of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, and acquiring a player like Roquan Smith wouldn't come cheap, even for a second-round pick in 2026. The Giants would need to weigh the long-term benefits against the draft capital they might be giving up. Still, for fans who are eager to see a more aggressive, physical, and disciplined defense, this could be the shot in the arm the team desperately needs. Smith's arrival would send a message to everyone in the NFC East. The Giants are serious about competing, and they're willing to make bold moves to turn their fortunes around. That kind of attitude can energize the locker room and rally the fan base, especially after back-to-back tough seasons that have tested everyone's patience. Now, let's not forget the importance of timing here. The trade deadline is approaching, and NFL teams are often looking to shake things up, especially when they see an opportunity to upgrade. For the Giants, this move could be the difference between just hanging around and becoming a real threat in the NFC. The defense's improvement would also help the offense, giving Daniel Jones and the offensive unit more chances to control the game and put points on the board. A more formidable defense, led by a seasoned veteran like Smith, would make the Giants more unpredictable and dangerous. Imagine a defense that can consistently force turnovers, stop third downs, and shut down the run opponents would think twice before coming into MetLife Stadium. And from a historical perspective, the Giants have always been known for their tough, gritty defenses. Think of the 1980s teams that dominated with Lawrence Taylor and company, or the Super Bowl-winning squads that played with relentless passion. Adding Roquan Smith could be the start of a new chapter in that tradition, bringing back the ferocity and intelligence that made Giants' defenses feared across the league. It's about building something special, something that can carry the team deep into February and beyond. The fans deserve that kind of grit and determination, something Smith embodies every time he steps onto the field. This potential trade also raises questions about the Giants' future roster moves. With a more solidified linebacking core, they could focus their attention on other needs, perhaps bolstering the offensive line or adding depth at wide receiver. The defense, however, needs to be a priority, especially as the division heats up with talented offenses from the Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders. If the Giants can secure Smith, they're not just patching a hole, they're making a statement. They're telling the rest of the league that they're in it to win it, that they're serious about competing at the highest level, and that they're willing to make bold moves to achieve greatness. Of course, we all know that nothing is guaranteed until the deal is done, but the signs are pointing in that direction, and the fan base is buzzing with excitement. Roquan Smith could very well become a Giant, and if he does, it's going to be a game changer. The defense will look different, more aggressive, more disciplined, more capable of shutting down the league's best offenses. It's a move that could help the Giants turn their season around and finally make meaningful progress toward the postseason. The NFC East is fierce, but with Smith in the fold, the Giants will have a new weapon that can tip the scales in their favor. So fans, keep your eyes peeled because this story isn't over yet. The NFL is always full of surprises, and the Giants are right in the thick of it. Whether or not this trade goes through, one thing is for sure. The team is clearly looking to make moves that signal their intent to return to greatness. And when that happens, you can bet the energy at MetLife Stadium will be electric. The Giants have a chance to write a new chapter this season, and Roquan Smith could be the key to unlocking their full potential. Stay tuned, because big things are happening, and we'll be right here, bringing you all the latest every step of the way. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the New York Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news.